Hi, I am Kendra Rinaldi, your host for Grief, Gratitude, and the Gray in Between podcast. And today, this is a solo episode. Usually, I have a lot of different interviews I do, but I've also decided to do a few short episodes with different topics. So, this week, I want to talk about the aspect of being able to create boundaries and have our own boundaries when we are grieving. So, what that means is that when we're grieving, a lot of times it is hard to know how to tell someone how to support us in our grief. And I feel that we sometimes have very high expectations as to what it is others are going to do for us in our grief. But when we are the ones that set the tone in our grief journey, and we are the ones that kind of guide in a way others as to how it is they support us and how we want to be supported, it just makes it all so much easier, not only for us but for those around us, because then we are not having these unmet expectations of how it is others are going to behave around us, because we've already told them exactly how it is we want to be supported. Now, there's going to be times in which we actually do not even know what it is we need, right? That is also very, very often, pretty much, especially at the early months and weeks and months of grief, that we just may be in just utter fog that we may not even know what it is we need. But it does help to kind of set the tone a bit as to how it is we want to be supported. Now, the reason boundaries are important is because a lot of times, even like ordinary conversations can feel loud. Things can be just too bright, can feel just too much. And it is important to kind of know a little bit of just how to set some walls or gentle fences per se, and know that this is just something that we're doing in order to be able to protect our our heart and our ourselves in that moment. So, giving ourselves permission to say, I'm not ready to talk about it right now. For example, that's a phrase that a lot of times, if somebody's asking you too many things that have to do about, let's say, the how the person died, or how it is that you're feeling, or if you're going through a divorce and you're grieving, like if they want to know all the details, whatever it is, you can very politely say, I'm not ready to talk about it right now. That's it. No explanation needed. Another way could be, I appreciate the check in, but I need some quiet. Here's another one. I'll let you know what I need when I'm ready. These are just ways in which, if somebody is reaching out often and it's actually, instead of it feeling comforting, it's actually overwhelming you. This is a way of being able to set a little bit of that boundary. Now, first off, you're going to have to really have a lot of self-awareness of yourself as well in order to know if it's feeling a lot of overwhelm. If you're feeling a lot of overwhelm at a certain moment, if you already know yourself and you already know what things bring you comfort, then being able to navigate your grief by being supported in ways that you already know bring you comfort in general will be really, really helpful. So if you prefer to be in smaller groups, that if that's something that you normally appreciate, or if you like to go for coffee dates, or if you like to go to the movies, watch TV, things like that in general. These might be things that you might enjoy, or going for walks that you might enjoy to do while you're grieving. And so having that self-awareness of the things that bring you comfort is important. Another thing that's important is to use clear and gentle language. So here's another example of how you could say, now these, I have these written down because sometimes it's like hard to even know like how to tell people. But if you even write it down and even just practice it out loud, then it can help you in the moment that someone's asking you something, you can answer in this way. I'm spending less time on social media while I heal, or I'm spending less time socializing while I'm grieving. Another way could be, I can't attend that gathering, but thank you for thinking of me. No, again, no explanation needed. You can just say, I can't attend, but thank you for thinking of me. That way, people know that it meant a lot for you to be invited, even if you're saying no. It's okay to say no, but at least to acknowledge that the invitation was there, because there is going to be a moment in which you will be wanting to attend one of the uh, events or any socializing that people may ask you to go to. Another thing that is also important is that you can protect your energy proactively by letting a few of your trusted people know what drains you and what helps you. So, if you have two or three friends or family members that already know this, they can advocate for you, and they are able to also kind of tell then other people of what is really helpful for you in your grief. By making sure that we tell those trusted people some of the things that drain us and some of the things that give us energy, it will be important, because then they'll be able to honor that. And another thing that I think is really helpful is that you can feel open enough to be able to ask for specific help, or just tell them, for example, something like, can you check in with me again next week? Or would you sit with me for a while I write a letter, or while I do these really difficult calls? You can ask for that support as well. People want to be there for you, and it's okay for you to also ask for that support. Again, just to remember that support isn't about fixing, it is really just more about witnessing, about holding space. And people really do want to hold space for us when we're grieving. And a lot of times when people reach out, I know for myself, when I reach out to people, it just makes me feel um, good to know that I'm at least holding space for them. And so, so anyway, so just knowing that they're really there to just support us. So, just some last words as you're moving through grief. Just remember that you're allowed to have needs, but you're also allowed to pause. You're allowed to cry, to laugh. You're also allowed to change your mind, because grief is not a performance. It's not something that has a timeline. It is a very sacred process. So just remember to take a breath. And if there's any boundaries you need to set, you can gently put them in place. And you can definitely let others know how to support you. And you don't have to do it alone. Thank you again for listening. This was Grief, Gratitude, and the Gray in Between.